Hi guys, come on in and type in freedom now. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, still at work, still at work. And before leaving, I wanted to talk with you briefly about what's going on with the government's response, okay? After the Dorcas decision last Friday about the 39-country USCIS adjudication hold, in addition to the other policies that that the court vacated and pretty much called unlawful, and the government has to lift the pause. Everything has to end. All the re-reviews, the hold, the asylum hold, all of that. The court just said, out with all of this. And that was Friday. And so what has happened since then? We were certainly expecting the government to file an appeal by now, and it hasn't happened, but something very interesting, there's a twist to this that we're going to discuss tonight. If you're a plaintiff in one of our lawsuits, check your email because I've already emailed you this information. Okay, check your email. If you're a plaintiff in one of our 39-country USCIS adjudication hold lawsuit, come on in and type in freedom now. Friends, we're reachable at McBean Law at 914-898-9488, or you may email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com. And, you know, I love the fact that you're so plugged in, right? You're so plugged in because this is about your life. And you should be plugged in. You should be paying attention. So thank you very much for being here. Instagram, McBean Immigration TV, and TikTok. Thank you for this. If you'd like to see what I'll be sharing tonight, you can hop over to McBean Immigration TV on YouTube so that you could see the document that I'll be sharing that I have in front of me called Motion for Entry of Final Judgment or for Clarification. Guys, here's what's going on. On Friday, the court issued that amazing order that identified those awful policies at USCIS as unlawful, and they should be thrown out immediately nationwide. And and then yesterday, on June 9th, the government responded to that by filing this motion asking the court for clarification. What did you actually mean? What did you actually mean? Is this supposed to be an injunction? Where is the final judgment? We can't do anything yet. We can't file our appeal until you, court, tell us what you actually really meant by that decision on Friday. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, it was pretty clear to me. I read 135 pages of the court's opinion, and it was pretty clear to me. But there's some technicalities here that the Justice Department has identified in its motion, and it's pushing back now to the court with what they're calling an expedited consideration requested. Expedited. They would like the court to immediately act and clarify some things for them so that they can do an immediate appeal. That's what it says. Now, let's just read briefly the first paragraph from this motion. All right. It says that the government hereby moves this court to enter final judgment under Rule 54B on the claims resolved in the court's order on Friday, the Dorcas order. Let's just call it that. In the alternative, the government requests that the court clarify that its memorandum in order operates as an injunction pending issuance of a final decision, final judgment. The government makes this motion to both clarify its current obligations under this court's memo and order and understand the appropriate avenue on which to appeal. And guys, listen very closely to this sentence, okay? This is why I'm of the opinion that USCIS has not yet lifted the hold. The motion says once this court issues a final judgment or makes clear it has issued a coercive order, DHS has prepared to and will treat the relevant policies as vacated or enjoined. So they're saying here, once the court issues a final judgment or clarifies the issues for the Justice Department, once they do that, then DHS will act and will follow the court's order to treat those policies as vacated. So it's basically putting the ball back into in the courts, the ball back into the courts, guys. It's 7:40. You know what I mean. So it's interesting, right? Because we thought, okay, they were immediately going to go to an appeal, but they're saying we can't even do an appeal yet. Our hands are tied. Okay. We need some clarification, or you just need to enter a judgment, and then we'll know what to do. They're looking for an immediate appeal. It does say that once the court issues a final order, enters a final order, I should say, then there will be an immediate appeal. That's what they're seeking to do. All right. So this was signed, of course, by Todd Blanche, the acting Attorney General, okay, of the Justice Department. His name has been on these responses in this particular case. This is a very high level issue for the government, because here you have this court that struck down some very important policies, major priorities that the government has around immigration. So, of course, you have the highest official at the Justice Department who is part of this action. And it's that important, guys. So that's the latest response from the government. They have not filed an appeal yet, but they are hinting here that it will be an immediate appeal once the court clarifies these issues, or enters a final judgment. Then, from a technical standpoint, they will be able to then appeal the decision. And so that's where this is going. No surprise there. So, if you have seen movement in your case, whether you're a plaintiff or not, share some feedback in the comments about whether you've seen movement in your case since the Friday decision in Rhode Island. Have you seen any movement? And if so, what has happened in your case? Have you gotten an approval yet? I know it's only Wednesday. It's still very early, but are you getting any updates in the app? Are you seeing anything happening on your end? Do tell. And while I'm waiting for you to respond, let's see. Take a few questions before we wrap up. How much for a consultation? Tilly is asking. Consultations with us begin at $300 and $399 for me. What's going on with meetings between the government and DACA? I'm not certain. I'm not privy to any information about any meetings with the government involving DACA. Not sure. Congress, let's see. Let's Have you seen any movement? Have you been even, someone mentioned something about their congressman's office. Are you pursuing, and you should, if your case has been unreasonably delayed, certainly you have a recourse. You could consult with your congressman or congresswoman's office for them to do a congressional inquiry. But just know that their inquiry is limited when there is an adjudication hold. Have you seen any movement yet in your case at USCIS since Friday? Do tell. Um, is it possible for him to get a green card? I'm not certain what the circumstances are there. Let's see. I had my interview yesterday. I got approved for the I-130, but the officer told me they can do nothing yet. That's what Lovely has said here on TikTok. Thank you for that feedback. This is very common. People are being interviewed, or interviews are being scheduled. I-130s are being approved, from what I understand, but the I-45 adjustment of status is still being held up. Still being held up. Has anyone gotten an approval of their work permit over the last few weeks? If you've gotten an I-765 approval recently, let us know as well. Let us know. Okay, let's see. Thank you. My removal of conditions case has been paused for 2 years. Well, I wouldn't say that it's been paused. It's been, they have this lengthy 48-month extension. The removal of conditions process is a very complex one, guys. Definitely work with an attorney if you're thinking about filing that I-751 removal of conditions application. Um, my husband is Nigerian, living in Turkey, no RFE. We received the NVC welcome letter on June 6th. Okay, so he is consular processing, um, and that's good. His case is moving. Um, Now, Nigeria, if you guys can remind me, it's late. It's been a very, very, very long day. Um, is Nigeria part of the 75? Is Nigeria on the 75 list? Um, Someone says my son has gotten his last Friday. What did he get last Friday? Oh, my son got his EAD last Friday. Great, great. Okay. How old is your son, by the way? And I see people in here are asking questions about the son, what country he's from and such. Continue, guys, to report out. It's very important for us to, as we're litigating these cases, to know what's going on, not only with our plaintiffs who have been reporting out to us by email. Plaintiffs, you should just be emailing us with your updates, please. But it's very important to know what's going on in a more broader context. Everyone who is a plaintiff in all of the lawsuits, you should have gotten your email. Check your email or check your spam folder or your junk box if the email from me happened to land there, and just adjust your settings, because I am communicating with folks via email, plaintiffs via email. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. So if you're now joining, I shared some important news about what the government's response has been since the Dorcas decision, the Rhode Island decision on last Friday, which vacated the various policies at USCIS that have basically put your case on hold for the last 6+ months, and really hurt so many people. Thousands of people are really suffering. The court on Friday issued their order calling the policies unlawful and they need to be set aside. And in response to that, yesterday on June 9th, the government responded by saying that, what did you really mean by this? In a very lawyerly way. What did you mean by this? We need some clarification. Did you want us to treat this as an injunction? Or will the court be entering a final judgment so that we could file this immediate appeal? We need to act. And so therefore we're sending in this expedited consideration request, so to speak. So the Justice Department, that's their next move. Okay, guys, that's the next move that they took. So we'll be watching that docket to see what the court does in response to this. Okay. And then once the appeal is filed, of course, I'll be reporting out to you about that as well. After an interview, it's been 8 months since I heard from them. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. It's not normal at all. And it's really unfair to you. It's unfair to you. Now, keep in mind, and we're telling folks this during consultations, keep in mind that for some people, they have the ability or the right to file their own individual lawsuit under the writ of mandamus, challenging the government on the unreasonable delay of your work permit or your I-485, right? For some of you, you have an I-485 sitting there at a field office and it's been sitting there for years, maybe 2 years. Or I did speak with someone recently whose I-45 has been pending at that local office since 2022. Okay, and that's wrong, right? That is way beyond the process and timeline. Think about, guys, seriously, that the environment that we're now in with immigration, you have to understand that you've got to get in court and assert your rights and compel the government to do its job, to act in your case. We know what's going on. We know what's behind a lot of these policies, and you still have some rights, and you still can push back and fight your way through. It's terrible that you guys have to that this is what we have to do now, because this agency just doesn't want to do its congressionally mandated duties anymore. So fight back, okay? Any update on the 75 country? No, I do not have an update on the 75 country. We're working on our lawsuit that was filed in Washington, D.C. Thank you to the plaintiffs in our 52 country D.C. Action. You guys have been amazing. You're so responsive. We email you, we ask for something, and you immediately jump on it. And so thank you so much for your cooperation. You guys have been very, very, very good to work with. Thank you. And we're currently working on our round three, by the way, USCIS. We're actively working on that one now, the round three, folks. And I did tell you tonight in your email from me that we're working on that lawsuit. Okay. So round three, people, you're going to be getting another email from us. Might be later tonight. Actually, it's written. Someone is formatting it right now. And once it's finalize the format, I will probably be in my kitchen and hit that send button to you tonight. So we have some important information to share with you, round three, people. So check your email later tonight, okay? You'll be getting an email from us, from my colleague Lauren, actually. Okay, and let's see. Any I-485 approvals to those that have gone for their interviews after this memo? That's what someone is asking here. The I-485s have been slowed down in a significant way. That is a fact. That is a fact. There's something really wrong with things right now with respect to adjustment of status. Really bad. Um, What happens if the DOJ files an appeal? They're going to seek also a stay that the chief judge order would be stayed during the time that the appeal is pending. And like I said, and I'm not the only one saying this, that most likely they're going to seek shadow docket support from the U.S. Supreme Court as all of this goes on, because they're in this matter. This Dorcas case is in the first district, judicial district, and it's a very liberal district. We're talking Massachusetts here, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, those New England states. And so the government most likely won't have success. Most likely they will not be successful with their attempts here with respect to a stay. We'll see how things really shake out, but I'm just I think many of you think the same way, that they won't be successful in that regard. So if the Supreme Court does get involved and they're on the side of the government, well, that these policies would remain in effect, right? Would remain in effect during the course of the appeal process. So that's why I really still think it's good to be part of um, a lawsuit, a group lawsuit, or pursue your own individual action. So that why? So that you can have some oversight, some judicial oversight of this process. Unfortunately, these federal judges are now like adjudicators almost, right? To some extent, right? They are getting involved in things that they probably never thought that they would be getting involved in. And so it is. This is the time that they're living in. We're all living in. So we'll see. I don't have any information about timeline. So is adjustment of status cases on hold right now? I don't know. I don't have anything to confirm that those cases are on hold aside from what we're seeing in practice and also what we're hearing from others in the field in practice, that these cases haven't been moving. The adjustment of status cases just they're like they are on hold, it seems, but nothing official has come out yet about that. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for being with me here tonight. And I will keep you guys posted. In our email to our plaintiffs, we did share this motion that the government filed yesterday in the Rhode Island case. So you could check your email and read this motion. It's very brief. It's really only 3 pages of text here. So it's a very short read and it's a little redundant, but this is their response. Okay, that's where things stand at this moment. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. Be sure to share this video with others, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.